Okay guys, this is the high flow nasal cannula portion of your guys' pediatric lab final. So this will be the high flow tower that you guys will see. So you will be required to plug these in. I'm not going to do it because you guys know how that works. So you'll have this guy, your heater block, and then you will have these supplies to set it all up. So you have an extra oxygen line or tubing that hooks up to your flow meter. You have your water chamber. You have basically your high flow line that actually goes to your patient. You have a pressure pop-off valve, and then the cannula attachment. So this one's for an adult, but they do make a pediatric, obviously, size one. So to set this up, you take your water chamber, which normally there's not water already in there, just ignore that. You guys know you just push this down, slide your chamber in. A brand new one of these, remember, has like these little blue tabs that you sit in here, and then this is wrapped up. So you want to remember to always pop off those blue things and take this off. Otherwise, if you start setting up your circuit with this still wrapped around, you have to dismantle it all to get your water line out. So take the little blue guy off, take this off. I kind of just set it back there so it doesn't swing around or hit the ground or anything. Then you take your pressure release valve and put it on either side up here. It doesn't matter which one. Then you're going to take your flow meter and attach it. Sorry, that's another piece you need is a flow meter, and you're going to attach it to the side of your oxygen blender here. Get this guy to move. Nope, first one. So, well, it's just like any other same screw system for like our vents and stuff. So then you take your oxygen line, and one end of your oxygen line plugs into this little port here on the side. And then the other end plugs into your Christmas tree on your flow meter that's attached to your blender. Then you're going to take this tubing, attach it onto the other side of your water chamber, and then you take your nasal cannula.
Sorry.
Nope, you're good. I'm making your videos right now.
Hey everyone, just walking online.
And plug that into the other end of your nasal cannula line. And that is it. Then normally you would plug in all of your temperature probes appropriately. I don't have the correct one for this particular water chamber, but you'd always want to make sure that you have your temperature probes plugged in. Usually you have one plugged in here that's proximal to your patient, and then you have another one that's plugged in on this little port right here. So you usually always have two. You have one that's by your chamber and one that's by your patient. So it's measuring both of those temperatures. Usually you would plug in your temp probes to these two guys here, and then it would plug into this little guy in the back. So it would connect that way. And then lastly, of course, we always need water when we are doing heated, humidified air. If we don't put water in this, obviously we're going to melt this, and that would be very bad. So then you take your spike, you take your normally unopened bag of saline. There's a little cap here that you would just pop off, and you squeeze this guy in, flip it up, and hang it up on your IV pole. This is what it looks like all together. So you have your nasal cannula that's plugged in. It runs all the way up to this guy. So you have one line for your cannula with your heated wired circuit in it. The other side has your pressure pop-off valve. So in case for whatever reason, like if this gets pinched somehow or something that's occluding the flow to your patient, so the flow doesn't get, or the pressure doesn't increase to your patient and potentially cause like some sort of trauma or damage to your patient or their lungs, the pressure will pop off up here instead. And then of course you have your oxygen tubing that runs from that pressure pop-off valve all the way up to your flow meter and your oxygen blender. So remember with kiddos, we usually start on a minimum of at least 2 liters. So if I actually had my lines plugged in, if I turned this on, it would, go up to 2 liters. And then you would obviously just adjust your FiO2 according to your patient's needs. With peds, you always, same thing with our like neonates, you typically want to start down lower and titrate up versus starting really high and titrating down like you do with adults. Okay, so that is the high flow setup for, I believe it's station 2 on your guys' final. So, and that's just the setup. You guys don't have to do the whole like patient part of that. No introducing or anything like that.